Renato, and in this video I'll be presenting loops. So my code here will be used to print out a right triangle of stars, and I have a while loop and then a nested for loop. So the while loop is my outer loop, and then the for loop is my inner loop. So if I click run, you can see what happens, and there's the triangle. So when I hit run, what happens first is row index was assigned a value of 0, and then it went on to my while loop. So I got to note that for while loops, you have to make sure to declare that incrementing variable before the start of, or before the while loop. So all that's required inside the while loop header is this condition, which is row index less than 3, so the body of my while loop will continue executing while this condition is true. And let's say we're on the first execution, row index was 0, so this returned true, and then that means the body of my loop, which is enclosed by these curly braces, will be executed. And the first thing that gets executed in my while loop is this for loop. So the great thing about for loops is that I got 3 areas: one for initialization, another one for my condition, and then another one for incrementing or decrementing variables. And that makes it easy so that I don't forget to do any of those. I could have easily forgotten to increment my variable, and that can result in an infinite loop. Or I could have forgotten to declare the variable that I will be incrementing or decrementing. So I have declared this variable stars, and stars is assigned the value of row index plus 1, and during the first execution of the while loop, row index was 0, so stars is 1, and my condition is that this loop, the body of this loop will continue executing while stars is greater than 0. So stars is 1, that condition is true, and then here on this incrementing or decrementing area, I decremented stars by 1. So each time before the end of the body loop of the loop finishes, stars will be decremented by 1. And so since stars is equal to 1 at this point, the body of my for loop right here will be executed, and all this line does is print out a star. And now that it printed out a star, stars was decremented, and now stars became 0, and this condition became false. So now that 0 is not greater than 0, the body of this loop was skipped, and then it went on to this next line. So this line here, all it does is just terminates the current line, and then it continues printing out everything else on a new line, and that pretty much signifies the next row, or the next line of in my triangle. So now it terminates right here, and it will start anything else that's printed will start on this next line. And then to make sure that I don't have an infinite while loop, I make sure that I increment row index, and I do that with the shorthand plus plus. So the shorthands plus plus and minus minus, they pretty much add 1 or subtract 1 from the variable that it's used on, and then that just makes sure that row index increases, because otherwise I'd have an infinitely increasing like a triangle, and it'll be an infinite loop. So then on the next iteration of this while loop, this condition will be checked again, and now row index is 1, and since that's still less than 3, this for loop again will be executed, and now stars is equal to 2, and that means that this body of this for loop will be executed twice. And we can see that since we're on the second row, I got 2 stars, and then that condition became false after that second execution, and then it skipped over here, and then this line got terminated, and then row index got incremented again, and it went back over here, checked the condition, and it was still true. And then I got now on this next line that was on, I got 3 stars printed, and then I got another line printed out. So what happened after that new line was that row index got increased to 3, and then this condition right here became false, and that means that the body of this loop was skipped and it continued executing everything else afterwards, and then that just resulted in this right triangle here. So that concludes my video, and thanks for watching.